Commentary. By the time I was writing Journey to Ixtlan, a most mysterious mood was prevalent all around me. Don Juan Matus was applying some extremely pragmatic measures to my daily conduct. He had outlined some steps of action that he wanted me to follow rigorously. He had given me 3 tasks, which had only the vaguest references to my world of everyday life or to any other world. He wanted me to endeavor in my daily world to erase my personal history by any means conceivable. Then he wanted me to stop my routines, and finally he wanted me to dethrone my sense of self-importance. Erase personal history, stop routines, and dethrone self-importance. If that's all you ever did, and you worked on that every day, your life would become amazing, right? That's where I am. I'm working on this. And that's why I want to share this with you guys. Because this stuff is the key to the cage. It is the key to the cage we're in our culture, in our society, with women, everywhere, with our work. It's the key to the cage. It's what's really going on. And that's why I want to share it with you. Let me keep reading before I get too commentative on the commentary. Let's still listen from Carlos. How am I going to accomplish all this, Don Juan? I asked him. I have no idea, he responded. None of us has any idea of how to do that pragmatically and effectively, yet if we start the work, we will accomplish it without ever knowing what came to aid us. The difficulty that you encounter is the same difficulty I encountered myself, he went on. I assure you that our difficulty is born out of the total absence in our lives of the idea that would spur us to change. At the time that my teacher gave me this task, all I needed in order to make it work was the idea that it could be done. Once I had the idea, I accomplished it. Without knowing how. Once I had the idea, I accomplished it without knowing how. I recommend that you do the same. I went into the most contorted complaints, alluding to the fact that I was a social scientist accustomed to practical directions that had substance to them, not something vague which was dependent on magical solutions rather than practical means. Say whatever you want, Don Juan responded, laughing. Once you're through complaining, forget about your qualms and do what I've asked you to do. Don Juan was right. All that I needed, or rather all that a mysterious part of me which was not overt needed, was the idea. The me that I had known through all my life needed infinitely more than the idea. It needed coaching, spurring, direction. I became so intrigued by my success that the tasks of erasing my routines, losing my self-importance, and dropping my personal history became a sheer delight. You are smack in front of the warrior's way, Don Juan said by way of explanation for my mysterious success. Slowly and methodically, he had guided my awareness to focus more and more intensely on an abstract elaboration of the concept of the warrior that he called the warrior's way, the warrior's path. He explained that the warrior's way was a structure of ideas established by the shamans of ancient Mexico. Those shamans had derived their construct by means of their ability to see energy as it flows freely in the universe. Therefore, the warrior's way was a most harmonious conglomerate of energetic facts, irreducible truths, determined exclusively by the direction of the flow of energy in the universe. Don Juan categorically stated that there was nothing about the warrior's way that could be argued and nothing that could be changed. It was in itself and by itself a perfect structure, and whoever followed it was corralled by energetic facts that admitted no argument, no speculation about their function or their value. Don Juan said that those old shamans called it the warrior's way because its structure encompassed all the living possibilities that a warrior might encounter in the path of knowledge. Those shamans were absolutely thorough and methodical in their search for such possibilities. According to Don Juan, they were indeed capable of including in their abstract structure everything that is humanly possible. Don Juan compared the warrior's way to an edifice, with each of the elements of this edifice being a propping device whose only function was to sustain the psyche of the warrior in his role of shaman initiate in order to make his movements easy and meaningful. He stated unequivocally that the warrior's way was the essential construct without which shaman initiates would be shipwrecked in the immensity of the universe. Don Juan called the warrior's way the crowning glory of the shamans of ancient Mexico. He viewed it as their most important contribution, the essence of their sobriety. Is the warrior's way that overwhelmingly important, Don Juan? I asked him once. Overwhelmingly important is a euphemism. The warrior's way is everything. Everything. It is the epitome of mental and physical health. I cannot explain it in any other way. For the shamans of ancient Mexico to have created such a structure means to me that they were at the height of their power, the peak of their happiness, the apex of their joy. On the level of pragmatic acceptance or rejection in which I thought I was submerged at the time, to embrace the warrior's path thoroughly and unbiasedly was nothing short of an impossibility for me. The more Don Juan explained the warrior's path, the more intense the sensation I had that he was indeed plotting to overthrow all my balance. Don Juan's guidance was therefore covert. It manifested itself with stupendous clarity, however, in the quotations drawn from the journey to Ixtlan. Don Juan had advanced on me in leaps and bounds at tremendous speed without my being aware of it, and was suddenly breathing down my neck. I thought time and time again that I was either on the verge of accepting in a bona fide manner the existence of another cognitive system, or I was so thoroughly indifferent that I didn't care whether it happened one way or the other. Of course, there was always the option of running away from all that, but it wasn't tenable. Somehow Don Juan's ministrations or my heavy use of the concept of the warrior had hardened me to the point that I was no longer that afraid. I was caught. But really, it made no difference. All I knew was that I was there with Don Juan for the duration.